All right. Welcome to the Elk Season Podcast, Season 3, Episode 4. Today is February 7th? 8th?
February 8th.
February 8th, 2024. We are 206 days from Elk Season, and tonight on the Elk Season Podcast.
So Elk 101 has got its season in full swing, so we'll talk about some of those things, plus our inspiration of dad jokes, sometimes inspired by Donnie from that series. Apple Vision Pro made an appearance in our episode tonight, not literally, at least in the discussion. We also have headlines from across the country and here in Idaho in terms of conservation concerns, issues related to wildlife, but we talked about lines at the ski lift in previous episodes, and those lines appear to be shifting to your campsite. So all of that tonight and more on the Elk Season Podcast.
I know there's lots to learn, and I know we can talk circles around a lot of elk guys. Yeah, because I watch YouTube.
When you say talk circles, I just want to make sure I'm on the same page. I want to know what your lingo is when you say that. Talk circles around elk guys.
I mean, they just there's no bedside manner. They don't know how to chum it up. They don't know how to fill empty space and just have good dialogue. There's no character
like
development.
This.
There's exactly. I mean, I have it for days. I can just go blah blah blah.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. No, and it's what's unique about, at least for me, and I don't want to speak for you, but I would suspect that to some extent you as well, is that it's not even something that you have to try to do. It just comes naturally. Yeah. You don't even realize you're just talking for talking's sake.
Yeah.
And I do that a lot. You should see me in class. In fact, I have to put the brakes on myself at least once a day in class. Now I'm just rambling. Let's go back to the point.
I have to say, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Because they've already got me started.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that's the worst thing you can ask me is, what book have you read last?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So is it bad of me that I brag that sometimes a book that I want to know about but I don't want to read, I tell you that it's on audio and you go read it for me and tell me about it?
Oh, goody. So, those are my favorite.
Yeah. Mine too.
I do a decent job summarizing.
Yeah. I have no doubt that you'll bring the story word for word. Sorry,
it seems like it's
not that bad. but no, that's why I like this. Where do we start putting videos together, and who's going to do what for what? So do you put your own video and I put my own video together? Because the challenge is to get content visually, to add to what we're doing, just to prove what we're saying.
To just show. I mean, everybody's out there showing their elk adventure.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with sharing the one we have.
No.
And I would love to share. I would love to share. Here's the videos I thought of as I'm watching elk content this year. Because we were watching Elk 101 Destination Elk V6.
Yeah.
And I think we're all caught up on that.
I think so. There's another episode today, but I haven't seen it drop yet.
Okay, I haven't seen it either.
It's Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I think it was episode 5 was the last one.
And at first they're hunting private land in New Mexico.
NM.
Which was
interesting.
Yeah, I guess. It was early in the season, and there's no teams, there's no diversity of characters.
Yeah, it's not like it has been in seasons past.
It's just Donnie
and
the other guy,
Jacobson,
Corey.
Yeah,
Donnie and Corey. So there's a couple of very redeeming things out of one of the episodes.
Okay,
and they were both in the same episode. There was one dad joke from Donnie that seemed to perfectly summarize what it's like elk hunting.
Okay.
And that is, I'm like an archaeologist. My life is in ruins. I feel physically during elk season like that's the kind of beating my body has taken.
Yeah.
Like Indiana Jones has just been.
I do remember that now. Yeah.
Has just been through hell. And the best of my life is just in ruins, man. I'm an archaeologist. And I really liked that. It was a fun joke that really applied to elk season for me.
Yeah, I know this. So Donnie had a dad joke. I think it was last year that I actually used last week in class.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily related to elk season because I teach about the science of the brain and all that stuff. And so this had to do with sensation perception, and I show how the brain communicates visual stimulation from the photoreceptor cells in our eyes, and it sends a signal to the back of our brain for communication. And I give a demonstration of how your brain goes through what's called neural adaptation. So when you stare, and there is something that we could tie into elk season here. And I'll
every stump you see is an elk.
Well, no,
Okay.
no, just hang on there.
Okay.
So I'll talk about the demonstration, and I'll tell you how this translates to what could be useful when you're in the field. Because I actually made that analogy as well, not in class in terms of hunting, but historically speaking, why this was beneficial for us to have as a process in our brain.
Okay.
And so it has to do with neural adaptation. Visually speaking, the neurons in our eyes will get tired of looking at a scene, and they adapt so that you can pick up on the novelty in the scene in front of you. Okay. So I have fun with this by showing them a hybrid celebrity mashup of crap. What's his name? There's Brad Pitt and Chris Hemsworth. So you have Brad Pitt and Chris Hemsworth hybrid, and then I have everybody stare at a picture of Brad Pitt for 30 seconds. Okay. And then I show them the hybrid picture again. But I ask them, I go, who do you think you'll see if you've been staring at Brad Pitt for the last 30 seconds? And then I show you that hybrid picture again. Who do you think you'll see? And a lot of times students will go, well, I think I'm going to see Brad Pitt because that's who I was just staring at. That's who's going to stand out to me. And so that's not what happens, though, is because your brain gets tired of looking at Brad Pitt. It'll pull out the features from that hybrid picture of Chris Hemsworth. Oh. So for a quick second, you'll see the other guy. Okay. And so if we stare at Chris Hemsworth, you'll pull out the features of Brad Pitt. Okay. And so it's neural adaptation. Your brain gets tired of looking at a scene. And that's adaptive when you think historically, because, and I think about this when I'm hunting. I'm sitting down, I'm looking at the trees. And so you'll notice that when you're sitting and you're waiting and you're just looking, sometimes every now and then something pops out to you. Yeah. Because it's out of the norm. It's novel, and the novelty is what you're seeking. Right. And so it's good that your brain habituates to a scene so that you can find a bear running at you, or an elk running through, or a squirrel will drop a pine cone and you'll hear it, right? So you habituate to the situation at hand to a point to where your brain wants whatever is going to pop out and be novel. So it's kind of a...
I can almost feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can feel...
I guess I've just done most of the talking, huh?
Is my audio okay? It looks a little low.
Yeah, well, it'll be fine. Actually, you just talking right now, I might be a little bit hot. So sorry, just checking in. Anyway, but a cool thing. And anyway, so to get back on point about the dad jokes. So now it's during this time that I have a pretty good rapport with this group of students already this semester. It's week 3 last week. And so I heard a dad joke that's kind of dumb, but I'll tell you anyway. And I didn't credit Donnie, I should have. But I go, it has to do with Chris Hemsworth. And I go, so Chris Hemsworth is working out with Mike Tyson. Everybody know who Mike Tyson is? Yeah. They go, yeah, Mike Tyson. I go, so Mike Tyson and Chris Hemsworth, they get done working out. Mike Tyson says to Chris Hemsworth, like, hey, Chris Hemsworth, how you feeling today? And Chris Hemsworth's like, oh, I'm feeling pretty good. And Mike Tyson says, well, watch out, because tomorrow you'll be Thor.
Okay. And I think I've heard that one before.
That was from Donnie. Yeah. They were out in the middle of nowhere when he said that. And so I was actually very impressed that a lot of students got that. So, because Mike Tyson and the way he talks. So.
Right.
Anyway. So there you go. I guess thank you, Donnie, for the opportunity to connect with students in class.
We love some good dad jokes. And I liked the Indiana Jones reference, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other thing that very redeeming that I saw from an episode of Destination Elk was Donnie was eating a Spam single.
I didn't see that.
Did you happen to catch that?
I didn't.
Donnie was eating a good old Ron Swanson Pop-Tart, baby.
But knowing me, it probably makes sense to you that I just omitted that from my memory.
Probably, because you're not big on Spam.
No. But you got Bram into it.
Good. Spam's a wonderful thing. I know
if I'm desperate.
The guys that helped me pack out my elk, they both. I think Reggie took a Spam single.
Yeah,
but
if Spam Singles come out with Spam, cheese, and bacon bits, I would buy those in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I would fry it before I eat it because I don't hate I don't hate fried Spam. I must have tried to combine those words there.
So thinking about, as I'm watching these videos, I'm thinking about what videos could we make? And I always thought, you know what? I think I need to make a video of everything that not comes out of my pack, but everything that goes into my pack at 0 dark 30. That's always a process with us, right?
Yeah, because everybody does the unpacking, but what about what happens right before you go out?
Right before you go out. Don't tell me what you're going to take in the field. Show me what you're taking into the field.
Yeah.
And why.
And obviously not everything's going to be able to be shown in that video. It's going to be dark, so it's really the last minute things you're throwing in before you head out for the day. So assume that we have well, assume that we have other things in there.
I should get a scale too, just so I know what my stupid pack weighs every time I leave the tent, because sometimes I feel like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is ridiculous because my tripod is heavy, my scope is heavy, and sometimes I've got 2 trail cameras, and which means 16 batteries. I mean, sometimes my pack is heavy.
Yeah.
Right. And I've packed my drones deep in, and that's a lot of batteries. That's all that is. It's a flying battery.
Yeah.
So
battery with blades on it.
So and I think that the experiences and the interactions that we have are not much different than what we see.
Right.
We
just need to capture our version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was kind of my thinking. I do some music on the side. I don't think I've talked about that in here, but I started in the spirit
He does the music for the Elk Season Podcast, the opening and the closing every week. You gave me those songs years ago.
That's right.
I'm still using them.
Oh. Okay.
Every week.
So if we need updated ones, I've got a catalog. In fact, I calculated up all the original songs I've written in the last year and a half equal an hour and 36 minutes.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So there's some stuff there.
If you want to,
I don't know if anything has just stood out to you because you've heard everything basically. So if there was anything that stood out, you'd have to be like, okay, that would make sense.
I would have to go into the library and listen to them all individually again and see if there's something. Do you even remember the ones you made?
Yeah, I've got copies of all of them. I did lose a hard drive for this computer, which had all my recordings.
Oh, okay.
But I had renderings of those recordings, which I have saved. So they were all just rough drafts. They were just scratch tracks. But some of them, a little snippet. You're not, it's not that big a deal. But
anyway, so there's been a few episodes of Elk 101 or of Destination Elk from Elk 101. That's always a staple of early in the year. There's a lot of other people out there posting some really good elk content.
I did capture a news headline this week of a guy who got a really good capture of an elk. I don't know where to go. It's a Boone and Crockett record.
Okay.
If I can find it. I know I uploaded it. It didn't show up in the folder.
Oh.
And it's on my phone, so I can't.
Okay.
I can't. But it. I took hold on. Maybe that was it. I thought I had the picture. Okay, so I took a picture of the cover of it, and I also took a screenshot of some of the content so I can remember. So I can give you the details.
Yeah.
And then so after the podcast, I just need to remember to put the picture of the guy with this elk mount. And so I don't put a lot of weight into these measurements because I just don't know what they mean, and I'm just not out there. I'm not a trophy hunter.
Right.
But this seemed important for those who might come across this that are like, well, that's cool. So the Boone and Crockett Club announced Wednesday, seems like it was this week, that a giant Roosevelt elk killed by Tim Carpenter in Northern California in 23 could be a new world record.
I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, 439 and 7/8 inches.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Well, it means it's got a lot of antlers. That's what it means.
Yeah, it does. The picture is pretty compelling.
Inches in girth and length of each tine, and its width, and the symmetrics, subtracted. So they have a field score, and then they have an official score, and the field score is just add up all the inches, and the official score as well. You have to take some off because the difference between the imperial tine on this side and the imperial tine on this side is 1.5 inches. So you're going to lose 1.5 inches on that measurement.
Wow.
But so yeah, that's why the official score always comes in a little bit lower than that. Now the Roosevelt elk have much bigger antlers in relation to their body.
Yeah.
Than Rocky Mountain elk. But the biggest elk to ever come out of Idaho is bigger than that.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
South Hills.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably knew it, but I don't remember the numbers because you know what?
It's in the 400s. It's in the 400s, right?
Sorry, I'm just not out there looking to brag to my buddies about an elk.
Right. It's not a metric you use like the 0 to 60.
Pretty much.
It's just not a metric you use. And it's not a metric I use either. But I understand it's very important to some guys.
If I do get a brand new vehicle of any kind,
yeah,
I'm going to come in touting at 0 to 60. Just to make it appear as if I care. Just for all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I on a side note, my middle child, 13-year-old, needs to do a project to graduate from the 8th grade, and he needs to interview somebody from a field of work that he's interested in. He chose mechanics, and so they said you cannot interview a family member because we have a family member that's like really good at mechanics. Yeah. So we couldn't go to him. So I went to people that I know at the college.
Yeah.
And I learned a couple of things. Now, this is probably for most programs that have sponsorships from major car companies. And so basically there's a GM certified program at the College of Southern Idaho.
Yep.
And they get vehicles donated from GM for the purpose of education. But those vehicles, no part of them are allowed to be repurposed, resold. They have to be destroyed when they're done being used. And so I've got a video of, and if I'm not big on measuring antlers, forgive me. I don't have a big conversation about engines, but I know that the engines were pretty substantial here. My 13-year-old got to sit in this high-end Camaro.
Yeah.
And rev it up.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, dude. It was pretty cool. And he pointed to the headrest behind my son and he goes, even this can't be resold or repurposed. It has to be destroyed. He said at one point I was commissioned to destroy all these he said he worked for some, I don't know if it was Dodge or Ford or something, but he was commissioned to destroy all these trucks that were like, they were write-offs or something, and he had to go in with a hacksaw and a chain. They had to be unusable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway,
okay.
Little weird note
on
but it's good that we have these amazing vehicles for our future mechanics to work on.
Yeah.
And so it's cool that exists. But sorry for that side note.
And last week we did the ag show at CSI.
I'm sure that thing goes 0 to 60 really fast.
We talked to one of the guys at I wish I remember something machine, Diamond Machine, something. I think so. But they have a scholarship program. Oh, are you going to be a mechanic? Are you going to be a diesel mechanic? I'm going to give you money right now, and I'm going to pay your tuition right now. And please go to school because we need mechanics. We need big diesel mechanics. And it's a big recruit. Yeah, it's a big recruitment deal. And I always tell them the same thing. I should have been a diesel mechanic. Right.
Well, I was wondering, man, should I have gotten into mechanics? I like working with my hands, I know
stuff, it's fun.
Mechanics I did rebuild an engine successfully, so I have a knack for it. But I'm already midlife. I don't need that crisis.
I've found my calling. I like reading books. I finished my 3-book deal, and just as I'm finishing that, I got another deal. It's a 7.5-hour book.
Nice.
And it's called Marriages in the Bible, What They Teach Us.
Okay.
And so every one I do, every audition I do, I'm like, I would read that.
So you've been actually you're going to be a published speaker.
Yeah.
And that's like you're done doing the work on some of these?
4 books are done.
Congrats, dude.
Yeah, they're only hour-long books. They're pretty short.
Sorry.
They're pretty short.
Congrats.
But thank you. But I like it so much. I'm definitely going to do as much as I can.
I've always had an interest in that. So to know somebody who's actually doing it, is
you learn so much. You learn so much, and I'm learning so fast. And like we've talked before, I'm set up for it. I have a background for it.
Yeah.
All the data I need is there. So I'm having fun with it. Fun with it.
Good.
And
I'm gonna have to go find a book to read now.
And I always audition. I go everyone and it's terrible because I have so many credits on Audible, and I'm like, ooh, which one do I want? And I will spend. It's just as bad as Netflix. I'll spend an hour looking at books and never choosing anything.
Yeah, that's like the old timers when you have cable. You just flipping. You never actually stop to watch.
You're just surfing. Well, back then we were surfing because there's commercials on the show I want to watch.
Yeah, that's true. There is that.
Now I can do whatever I want, and I can't make the decision. So let's transition into the Google Glass or what's it called? The Apple Vision Pro.
Apple Vision Pro, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to talk for a minute about the Apple Vision Pro.
Go ahead.
Because I got a MetaQuest 3, the Oculus headset MetaQuest 3.
Don't tell Bram.
Which gives you. I want to bring it over.
He would love that.
It's you would like it. It's
I
really
would like it too.
Yeah.
I joke, but that's like he's gonna pass out. He wants one of these so bad.
It's so cool. It's so cool. It is 512 gigs and cost me $500, right? The Apple 500 gig is $37.99.
Yeah, 30. It's like it's expensive.
But here's what I see, because sometimes now I can be watching stuff on YouTube, and I could be wondering, well, what they're talking about this bear or something, and I can Google or Wikipedia on another device. What's that, right? But I can also be scrolling on Facebook on another device. So and other people do this. I'm not alone.
Okay.
Right. You understand this definitely happens.
Yeah.
Right.
I just it seems like an incredible waste of time, but I guess that's the old man in me coming out.
Okay. I'm not arguing that point. Okay. I am not arguing. There's a lot of stuff we do that's a complete waste of time.
I'm not immune to this.
You can say elk hunting is one of them.
I'm not immune. Yeah. Case in point.
Right. So now because having so many devices is, I'm trying to manage, and really I find myself going, well, I have this device and this device. Now, what am I going to do with this device? And I'm surrounded by stupid devices. I know it's crazy. Sometimes I'll be watching something on YouTube and I'll be on Google Earth, right? Looking at something on Google Earth and going back and forth and scrolling something else. Anyway, not that I'm on 3 devices a lot.
Usually 4, but got it.
But sometimes 2 is not uncommon. But now with these Google glasses, right? Or this MetaQuest 3, I can pull up multiple YouTube. I can pull up YouTube. I can pull up Facebook. I can pull up TikTok. I can have them all in my vision and all going, and I can interact with them all while doing the dishes. Right? Because I can still see the outward facing cameras are getting a view of my kitchen. So I could have all of this stuff going on. I could be watching Facebook Live. I could be doing something on YouTube. Anyway, but the opposite of that. Now, you've been to Disney, right?
Yeah.
I was explaining to someone this week the difference between a roller coaster ride and Space Mountain.
Yeah.
Because Space Mountain's just a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But Disney manipulates your senses. What you hear are rocket ship sounds. What you hear are rocket ship pilot sounds. Mm-hmm. What you see is outer space. You feel cold air. You feel darkness, right? It's every sense is manipulated so well. it turns a roller coaster into something like Space Mountain.
Yeah.
Which makes it so different. I was in another thing at Disney. This is 15 years ago. But I was in another thing at Disney where they actually misted you with scents, with smells.
Yeah.
And it was in a
smell-o-vision.
In a Bug's Life. Yeah, a smell-o-vision, like a Bug's Life kind of thing. You could smell and feel it, because sometimes the mist was just water and you could feel something happening, and it didn't bug you, but you could feel it. Anyway.
Huh.
So what I noticed was the first episode of Destination Elk I watched on my VR headset.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
And that's what really transforms it. I don't need, yes, I can be on 3 devices. I can be doing multiple things at once, right? I'm multitasking. But I can also close everything out. You pull up theater mode in those goggles. There's no kids running around you. There's no bowl of chips, right? It is an experience. Your much sensory input has been blocked, and now your focus is so much more intense on what you're doing. And they had a 360 degree drone flight up Victoria Falls.
Yeah.
In Venezuela.
Yeah.
Right? And you can stand in your living room, and you can turn around standing on your feet. You can look down and up every direction. And it's like you're on board that drone. And they fly up and over where the water falls, and then they go back over where the water falls and back down to the valley floor. And it's so encompassing.
So
yeah.
I have to share with you what the range of emotions I've been going through over here.
Yeah. What, through this diatribe or in recent weeks?
Just right now.
Okay.
Hearing you describe, you have these goggles, you can do 50 different things. I'm like, no. Like, my emotion was sell everything, buy a damn cabin in the woods, and escape this horrifying reality of technology. Yeah. But then you're like, but then the immersion of that elk video. I'm like, well, now I want a pair. Yeah. So it's so,
yeah. And I showed you.
Sounds enticing in that regard.
And I think, yeah. And really, there's plenty of YouTube I could watch while I'm doing the dishes. I know. There it just is.
There's not a whole lot of ground I have to stand on to argue what you want to do with these, because you can do what you want. Yeah. I mean, if I bring my phone into the bathroom with me, why couldn't you take your goggles to the sink?
Right.
So I don't know. It's
why couldn't I watch whatever show I want while I shovel snow?
Because I have to wave at my neighbors. I wouldn't see my. That's why
you can see your neighbors though. That's what the crazy thing. The MetaQuest 2, the Oculus before this one, didn't have out-facing cameras. It didn't interact with the outside world, right? It's just that woman running into the stove, right?
Yeah.
Now, like with this Apple Vision Pro and this MetaQuest 3, which is the apparently now the white trash version of it, is that's where the game has changed to be able to interact with that outside world and be able to pull up different things. You can literally watch a movie on your screen, but you can also have IMDb pulled up next to you and be scrolling through the cast, because that's something people do now.
Yeah. The concern I have, though, is there's going to be more and more of these people, like the video showed me, wearing this, trying to interact with the world while being distracted behind the wheel of a vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that has me concerned.
If anybody hasn't seen that clip, there's a clip of a Cybertruck owner driving and wearing this Apple Vision Pro and interacting. And obviously they're doing something very busy with the Apple Vision Pro, because the Apple Vision Pro, although it looks like you can see through it,
you can't.
You cannot.
No.
It's depicting your face on the other side of those goggles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that until you showed me that video of the guy tearing them apart.
Yeah. It's a solid piece of stuff. I mean, it's crazy how that thing's built.
Yeah. So you really can't see through it. It's showing you what it wants to show you through it.
Yeah.
So anyways,
the world's changing. It's fast.
So fast. So fast. And now everybody's going to have them.
Simpsons already did it.
You're going to see it. You're going to see it in your classes. No, it's okay. It's okay, Mr. Chambers. I'm watching you.
I'm really paying attention. I've already seen one of my colleagues has a collection of virtual reality goggles.
Yeah.
They're old school. They're early versions of something, but to use for instructional purposes.
Okay.
And they had them on display. We had an open house last year, and me and the kids were walking through, and hey, well, that's cool. You have these 3D goggles, and the kids, we all put them on, and we're like, whoa, this is cool, and just, it was very, I would say, it's because of how fast technology has gone, they're very much, is archaic the right word?
Yeah.
Compared to what we have now.
Yeah.
They're still useful in a sense, but they aren't the same quality as what you'd get right now, just because of how fast the flipping technology has moved.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they're already on campus, but before long they will be showing up to class. But it's like, wait, that's what you used your financial aid for?
Guilty as charged, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Anyway, it's fascinating, the new technology. And what the heck that has to do with elk season, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
We were talking about, didn't we mention earlier that you're on the hillside and you're bored and you got to keep your mind occupied, but you don't want to miss the scenery. So maybe this bridges
there you go.
Gap
that bridges the
bit.
gap. So a couple things I found from the Elk 101 series this year is they spend a lot of time sitting down.
Yeah.
A lot of time just sitting down. And even though that same guy produced a video saying, hey, you know what? Sometimes midday is the best time of the day to be out and about doing stuff.
Which I agree with.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. If you have the energy.
Yeah.
Right. If the conditions are right. And if I hear thrashing, if I hear bugling, I'm not sleeping through that. Right. In the middle of the day.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the last video or the one before it, but the last day of our hunt, we had that elk come in 40 yards.
Yeah.
And I just didn't see him till I saw him. Anyway.
He snuck in quiet. And it looked a lot like that shot that Jacobson took, right?
Yeah.
It was uphill, 30 yards. Yeah. He said it was 20 from him.
We weren't that steep of an uphill, though.
No.
I mean, it was... I had stuff. I had trees in the way. I didn't have a shot anyway. But we did chase him. But I feel like after seeing some of these things from this season of Elk 101, we needed to start chasing that guy sooner.
Really?
Yeah. We waited too long to go after him. We were debating on where do we go, and then we find. But it's like, well, there's that guy. We watched him go over the hill, and then we're like, now let's chase him. And we probably should have been en route. We could have been right on him because they were already moving.
Yeah, they were.
We should have sort of gotten on the route to get there quicker. So just food for thought. You don't know until you know. And we did see him later, but they were moving. They were clearly
he moved a lot that day.
Yeah.
He moved a lot that day. I'm looking to pick up on it's already the 15th of September in the Elk 101 series.
Yeah.
So it seemed to me the rut was definitely in full swing.
Yeah.
In our hunting area by the 15th.
Yeah.
And
you were up there. You had you were with your buddy that weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was.
So,
and we had a great experience with a big herd bull and about 9 cows.
Yeah.
We called him away from his cows, and I did not get a shot, but had a remarkable encounter.
Yeah.
That I won't soon forget. And a heck of a hike out.
Right.
Again. So, let's see, what else do we have? Oh, I experimented with fasting. I did. I did some experimental fasting. I fasted for 72 hours, which is 3 straight days with 0 calories, even not a single crumb, is how I put it. I did a CrossFit workout all 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Although on Wednesday, I got to admit, I was feeling a lack of energy.
Sure.
As anyone would, but I still had plenty of solid burst left, right? Like if I really had to give it something, I could go. And all 3 days I had to do my job, which was create content for the radio and be alert and chatty. And I didn't see any difference. I didn't see any diminish in my cognitive function from lack of calories, nor really in my physical activities. Anyways, and I did it, as a reminder that this is how 1,000 years ago everybody ate.
Yeah.
Everybody ate that way 1,000 years ago. Not very long ago. Our bodies are made to endure times. I don't even want to say famine. I don't even want to say famine, but
feast or famine famine as a general expression to just say. Well, lean is. Sorry, I was trying to help qualify the famine, but you came up with lean, and that's a better.
Well, it's just term. Just in just lean times, you just don't have anything to eat. You still have to be able to think, and you still have to be able to function and hunt to get those calories that you need. And so it was just a reminder to me. I think after eating so much, December and January, just shoveling it in, and so I like it. I like the fasting method, and I don't know if I. Anyway, so sorry. I'll tell you after the podcast.
Sorry, folks.
No, it's just one of my own dumb jokes.
Yeah. I've gotten back in routine of what I was doing before the holidays, which did bring more food, but I didn't allow myself to go overboard. I did eat extra. I did gain about 10 pounds relative to what I was at, but I'm now back down to basically where I was right before the holidays started. Okay. And so I feel proud of that because it's just early February. Yeah. I'm under 260 now.
Good.
And my goal is again, last year my goal was 240 by 420. That's still my goal. Yeah. And I made substantial progress, and I didn't take too many steps backward, and I'm already ahead of the game of where I was last year this time, I think. So, but
well, I made it out of the 270s and into the 260s, and hoping to push forward into the 250s. But
so it's a lot of work to maintain and get there. Yeah. But you've always got great motivation for yourself, and you have. What I love about you is you'll try all these different things. Yeah. That ultimately, what leads to success is effort. And, right. And that's
right. Last week, I eat the same 3 meals every day for 6 weeks last year.
I read about a pop star. I can't remember his name, and he has gone through a remarkable transformation. And I can't remember his name. He's got a lot of tattoos. But there's 2 types of people with tattoos: people who have tattoos and people who have face tattoos. Yeah. Sorry, Jelly Roll. No.
Well, I was thinking either Jelly Roll or that other one, that other musician.
Machine Gun Kelly. It's not Machine Gun Kelly.
Not him.
He's got face tattoos as well, I think. God, I can think of him. I think he's a rapper. I don't know.
No. I've seen him performing Johnny Cash, and I actually saw him singing Joe Diffie.
Who?
This guy you're talking about.
If it's the same guy.
Yeah. Yeah, what's his name?
I'm looking it up. See if I can figure this out.
We'll get to the bottom of this.
It's not a country singer. Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's Post Malone. Yeah.
Post Malone gave an interview about how he lost his weight.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about doing my own version of it.
Yeah? What do you do?
He goes, look, I didn't change. He just said it didn't change much except I stopped snacking, and when I eat, I'm eating chicken with hot sauce. Hot sauce has no calories, and chicken is really lean.
Yeah.
My sustenance for the last 4 days has been chicken tortilla soup.
Yeah.
Which is some tortilla chips cracked up into the soup. It's mostly water with vegetables and big pieces of chicken with a whole bunch of tapatio.
Nice.
So my diet hasn't hurt the last 4 days either, for dinner anyway. So
that's great. Yeah.
So anyway, chicken with hot sauces, because some hot sauces taste amazing. And by the way, bias towards tapatio. Sorry, just always will be. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
So
I don't know that I've had tapatio too much.
Yeah, it got impressed upon me when I was a young lad. I had a friend of mine. His name was Jaime. He's like, "Hey, you want a burger?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll take a burger." He makes me, and I'm thinking, burger.
Yeah.
You got a bun. You got lettuce, tomatoes, and all the fixings. And he says, "All right, come over and get your burger." I'm like, "It's just meat."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your burger. Like, what am I supposed to put on it? He slaps down the tapatio container. Goes, "We just have the meat and the tapatio."
Wow.
I was like, okay. So I take a bite of the burger. I'm like, okay, I'm hungry and this is yummy, but it's like, you really should try the tapatio. It's like, okay. So I put some tapatio on it and I was like, oh my gosh, my world changed from there on. So you have to be in the right frame of mind. And maybe I was extra hungry because I was young and I was poor anyway. But yeah, there's your burger. It was such a good, very appreciative.
Very literal.
What an experience. I learned to like tapatio after that. That was in the year 2000.
Wow. When you were just 19, huh?
In the year 2000.
Yeah. I know. That's a good bet. They did it
after 2000.
Yeah, way after 2000.
So, all right.
So there was that. I don't see they talk about eating freeze dried meal pouches, but I see them eating Spam singles.
Yeah.
So that's okay. That's okay.
Themselves.
No one would really eat that stuff. No one really eats freeze dried meal pouches. That's not real. They all taste the same. They taste depressing. Anyway.
It's not good stuff. I told you about the hike I went into the Bob Marshall.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, get freeze dried. I'm like, I'm going to bring canned ravioli. Even though that's still not that much better, it wasn't
so much better. It's so much better.
I carried a lot of dumb weight in there.
Yeah.
I didn't carry as much weight out. That's okay.
Because
you're a lot weaker by that point.
I carried a can of chili up in 55 with me. Did I tell you about that?
No.
Ooh. Instead of soup, I just brought some chili. Oh man.
That sounds pretty good,
it's
actually.
So good. It's so good.
In fact, I've got a couple cans of Nally chili with jalapeno and cheese.
Woo. Oh yeah. If you're gonna pack food and water to cook it in, why not just leave it in the can?
Right. And cook it.
And just pack it with you and warm it up when you get there.
Yeah.
One of the big things, and I think I would love to show this, if we can make a video of our hunt this year, and that is to have some of those breakfast burritos in tinfoil.
Oh yeah.
On the mountainside, heated up. There is nothing like a hot breakfast.
We didn't do that last year.
No, but I'm
so sorry.
A hot breakfast.
Oh man.
Is a game changer on the mountain.
And I should just make the video of how I make those. Put together a quick video because it's basically just my own home version of the McDonald's breakfast burritos. I have a few added extras in there, and you'll see because the last time we did them, I added potatoes, and it was oh yeah. Anyway, but and then having them in the tinfoil so they sort of have their own vessel to be warmed up in. Yeah, and sorry,
and just having the jet boil in the pan, and just having a warm breakfast, man, that's such a big difference.
Yeah.
Such a big difference. It makes the morning a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
Totally different.
We hiked up Elk Ridge. I don't know if you remember, and I was like, man, I'm dying. I gotta eat something. That would have been a great moment to have one of those. And we didn't have those with us, and I probably would have I could have benefited from that.
Because you don't have to cook anything. You just have to warm it up. And it just have a real heat source. You don't have to pay too much attention, but to have a hot breakfast, man. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good times. Should we do some? I can't believe what it's about. We're 15 minutes away from landing already. I feel like we just started.
I know.
Should we start doing some of the?
Yeah,
we don't have much, but this is about tanning. I don't know if you want me to start here. I'm just I started in the first image. I tan and sew all the hats myself.
This is a post from, if you would read the post, I guess.
You want me to read the whole thing?
Just read the. Who
I had a friend with sewing machine help me with the chaps. I make pretty much everything I can from pattern. The beaver hat is still available. So it's basically there's just pictures of different hats.
Yes, yeah. These are
made
things
from hides.
These are things made from hides, made by an individual on the was it Idaho Trapper Association or
the Fur Shed Buy Sell Trade.
Okay. Fur Shed Buy Sell Trade. Well, whatever.
Okay,
The idea here is you can have anything you can get, I can get to. There's no, globalization is such a thing now. There's nothing you can have in your house that I just can't go to Walmart or the mall or Target and just have one of my own.
Yeah.
I can go to Amazon and get one of my own. So the new way to have something original, to have something unique, is to know the person who made it. And it's one of the fastest growing segments. Etsy is basically homemade. Everybody makes this homemade stuff, and now there's even Amazon homemade.
Oh wow!
Which I got to wonder how homemade that is. But
Etsy.
Finding someone who actually makes something.
Yeah,
I know
cool.
This isn't a fur shipped from Canada to China or Taiwan, made into something. This is what I do. I got a sewing machine. I don't care what the price is. I'm only ever going to buy one of these, right?
Yeah.
And I want it to fit right. They'll take your size. Anyways, I think I really like it. I think it's a great option. I don't know if you've ever seen the elk shirt that I have of the trees bleeding into the elk bleeding in. That was an Etsy purchase.
Oh, cool.
And so I like the idea of Etsy to find very unique things, stuff that people aren't going to have at their own place, or not many people will have.
Yeah. Excuse me. That's oof. All right. This next one makes me feel like you're looking for ways to fund the never-ending money hole that is elk hunting.
Always.
By putting money into a different hole to earn some of that back. Idaho wolf trappers wanted.
Yeah.
Foundation for Wildlife Management Trappers Idaho needs your help. $1,000 per wolf, and you keep the pelt.
Yeah.
This
is serious. This is a great thing. The elk hunters, right? I'm trying to think of a way or find a way that as an elk hunter I can support bigger elk populations without going hunting wolves. Right? And there's places like this. Hey, where can I donate $1,000 to somebody who kills a wolf? Right?
Yeah.
That would if I knew that wolf came out of my hunting district, I'd be like, hey, I could get some guys together and go, hey, let's give them some money.
Yeah.
That's one wolf is 20 more elk where I'm hunting.
Yeah.
That's great. So again, these are industries I want to support. The hide industry is a good one to support, and the wolf hide industry is part of that.
And it's probably going to grow in terms of your need to manage predators, because a wolf was captured on camera near a road in Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The wolves are in Colorado.
They're there.
Say what you want, man. But how many wolves are in Colorado? 10?
Something like that.
10?
Yeah.
That's right now. That's only 200 elk a year that they're killing. Okay. That number is going to climb pretty fast.
Yeah, there's a lot of food source down there.
There's a lot of, man, like I said before, more elk in Colorado than Idaho and Montana put together. Yeah. That's a lot of elk. Anyway.
You showed me this picture of an albino porcupine.
Yeah.
And what's even cooler is somebody saw this in the snow.
Yeah.
So that's pretty rad.
It's not an Arctic porcupine.
Yeah. So I've got one here we're going to talk about last. We're going to go to Idaho Fish and Game right now.
Yeah.
A couple stories out of Idaho. We already talked about we talked about the Boone and Crockett. That wasn't Idaho. But here, Idaho's got a couple things going on. And one that we've been following for a while is the chronic wasting disease. And so they're going to be doing some active management on chronic wasting disease here in Idaho. If it will pull up, it's not pulling up right. Starting on, the 5th, which was a few days ago.
Okay.
Fish and Game staff resumed control action to reduce deer density in Slate Creek, which is up north in northern Idaho. 4-week project to reduce the number of deer to help control chronic wasting disease.
Okay.
Apparently they have enough data to suggest that smaller populations helps control the disease, but we don't know what spreads it.
Right.
And that's what concerns me about the management of this situation. But I can't fault them because
I don't know that much about chronic wasting disease.
Chronic wasting disease has been around for a long, long time.
Okay.
It's been prevalent in the whitetail deer populations back in the Midwest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we still haven't funded the resources to really get behind understanding it. And that's what surprises me. It's been around as long as it has. We know that it devastates. It's 100% mortality rate if an animal gets it. Don't know what or how it impacts humans in terms of consumption or exposure.
Yeah.
But, it's one of these things. It causes the animals to act like mad cow disease. It's really bizarre. And so I'm not saying that they should not do the management, but I'm just, an open question is, what's the other data we need? Well, we need to understand really.
They've got to be studying this. They've got to be studying this across a vast area. There's got to be colleges from Washington to the Great Lakes.
Yeah. So I'm not saying they're not doing it either. I hope that. So to caveat what I'm saying, because I might come across as like being harsh. I really hope that those ongoing efforts yield something, because understanding how it spreads can help mitigate that. Maybe we have to go put sorry, deer, elk, and people
find a different management solution.
But maybe it's about maybe they need masks.
Maybe they should be wearing masks.
Maybe they should be wearing masks.
If there was a mask mandate, if we had a good governor,
or a stay-at-home order,
mandate, or
sorry,
you don't drag that into this. Jeez. Oh.
Anyway, I'm not trying to open a can of worms. I'm just having fun.
Open.
Come on now. Anyway, it's in the past, right?
I know.
Pneumonia has hit Hell's Canyon bighorn sheep in the Fish and Game. Do you know much more about this situation?
No.
This herd of bighorn sheep, and according to this article, and this is from the Fish and Game's own newsletter they send out every Thursday, actually. They talk about it having been hit hard by this, like, I don't know if they say annually, but historically they have had a hard time with this particular herd being hit with pneumonia a lot.
Wow.
So I don't know what it means, but it's sad to see, a dead, dead bighorn sheep, but maybe they need to be wearing masks.
Yeah.
But then it's called I think they shortened the nickname for it is Mivy or anyway. There's a nickname for the pneumonia,
the actual respiratory disorder. Yeah.
So
no, I just picked up on it thinking, if this is happening, then there's probably going to be more to the story, and we should keep tracking and see what happens.
Okay. The last thing.
Yes.
Reservations.
Yeah.
At Glacier National Park.
Oh, geez. You saw this coming.
I have never been to Glacier. I've lamented. We actually did plan. So we had this crazy plan as a family in 2018. Or was it 2017? 2018. We were going to go through Yellowstone. We were going to go up to the Museum of the Rockies.
Right.
We were going to go up to Helena, where I was born, show the family. And then we were going to go up. We had this huge trip, and then we were going to come down 93, come home. Like, we had this huge.
That sounds like an awesome plan.
Didn't have the money for all of that.
Right.
We made it as far as Bozeman. Didn't do.
That's okay.
But we still.
That's all right.
And Yellowstone yielded us visual.
Yeah.
About half a mile away of one buffalo. When do you see only one buffalo? I'm still mad about that.
Better to aim high and miss than aim low and hit.
Well,
you could have ended up at the museum in Pocatello.
I've seen many buffalo there. I've been there. Anyway, anyway. So I'm lamenting that I didn't get to make it there, and I grew up in Helena, and I've been, to Missoula dozens of times.
Yeah.
So to hear that this is coming on, it's heartbreaking, but I also, like you said right before I cut it off, saw this coming.
Yeah.
The management of our national parks has met its limit for the current policies that we have in place for it.
Yeah.
Yellowstone is egregious, and it was in 2008 when we had our family reunion up there.
Yeah.
And it had been that way for a while.
Yeah.
Zion National Park has been pretty bad. I've been there during a busy time.
I hiked to Angel's Landing. I had to wait 3 hours. Now you have to get a pass before you even show up to hike all the way to Angel's Landing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was lucky enough to hike the Grand Canyon in a place where nobody frequents, but that also brings its own dangers if you don't know what you're doing.
And you didn't. But you weren't putting anybody else in danger but you. That first year, right?
That first year, yes.
That's right.
That's a good caveat.
That's okay. That's the caveat.
Second year, about hiked off the legs of a good buddy of mine, but
that's what buddies are for.
Yeah. But now he's got a story. He hiked the Grand Canyon.
That's right.
And I can say I've hiked it twice.
Yeah.
And I'd love to go back to that very specific spot because I know it's off the beaten path. It is known by people, but it's not developed. And that's the problem with places when it's developed. And that was a big part of our conversation earlier today was it's development of the campsites and all of those other things. The amenities is what attracts people. And so I'll get to Glacier eventually. I'll get to drive the road. Was it the Highway into the Sun or whatever?
The Road to the Sun.
But until then, I'm gonna have to watch out and make sure that if I decide to do it, I got to plan ahead. And
this is where it's all going out west. This is where it's all going, just like you said, just in all those parks. Yeah. In Yellowstone, 4 million.
And don't even
visitors
get
a
me
year.
starting with the horror stories I hear about people who try to go to Yosemite.
Oh yeah. That's another reason you need bears back in California.
Yes.
That'll clean out Yosemite. Only the brave will enter now.
Yeah.
That's not true. Look at how busy Yellowstone is.
Yeah.
One of the best grizzly ecosystems in the lower 48.
Yep.
Or the best.
Yeah, that's true.
And
but think about the encounters you don't have in a really high population of grizzlies and a high population of human density that comes through there. Yeah. Think of the encounters you don't have. Why are we afraid of having grizzlies?
I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I am, but I don't know why.
Right.
which means I'm not. I mean, I shouldn't be, right? I feel like I should be afraid to hike and hunt alone. But I don't know why, and so that's why I do it.
Yeah.
Something could happen. Something could always happen.
Yeah.
Something's always been happening. So that's never been a good enough answer for me. And the same would go for grizzly bears.
Yeah.
Right? Jared hunts up in Montana.
Yeah.
He goes, there's grizzlies all the time. Yeah. Watch out for them. Right? I talked to other guys when I was working up there. They goes, oh yeah. You wake up and, they're rifle hunting, but you wake up and there's grizzly bear tracks in snow around your tent, just like the mountain lion tracks were around our tent.
Yeah. Jeez.
So, what are you afraid of? I'm afraid of fear. I'm mostly afraid of fear. I'm afraid of anxiety. I have anxiety over fear.
So
I do see a future where every single campsite. I told you my experience this last summer on 4th of July, trying to find a campsite. I'm just so used to being free and going into the mountains and going, well, here's a place to camp. Let's set up camp.
Yeah.
And everywhere you go to set up camp, there's somebody.
Yep.
Everywhere. It was awful. Or even worse, they would string up a hammock and as a sign that, hey, someone's here. And I'm like, is there someone there? It's just a hammock. How long has it been there? It's like that's such a great spot. And so I would, I kind of want a reservation system.
Yeah.
Let's make sure I don't need to be there if there's that many people up there. I could find somewhere else to camp, I'm sure. If I knew that all those places had been pre-reserved and just stacked up, I'd be like, okay, I'll keep my distance. So I see, and when we went fishing, right? There's only so many places to camp along that river. If there was a reservation system, it would sure clear up. I think it would sure clear up a lot.
Make a lot of people angry at first, but adjusting to the system, change is never easy.
But I don't have to go there on a Wednesday at 5:00 in the morning, hoping to find the right empty spot.
Right.
Hiring someone to sleep there, so in case somebody comes and checks, oh yeah, we're totally here fishing, and
Yeah.
It would just eliminate that. And there is a bit of anxiety that goes into, well, that's my elk spot. Well, that's my fishing spot. And there's a lot of that. And if I knew, hey, first of the year, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to get these dates. I've been there enough times. I could go upstream or downstream if that one's not available. And I know this is a good camping spot / fishing spot.
Yeah.
So I think it could eliminate a lot. And I think we're probably going to see a lot of that trickle down from Glacier, hopefully to Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Yellowstone's just a cash cow, though. 4 million visitors a year.
Yeah.
4 million.
And Narea 1 gets taken out by
and there's not 4 million people in Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana put together.
It's ridiculous.
Is there even 4 million in Utah? I bet there is.
Yeah, there's.
Okay.
I said that confidently. I don't know, but
that's all right. I do that
based
a lot.
on what I experienced in the Salt Lake area during my anniversary. I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
It's a big population there.
Okay. Probably, I don't know about 4 million. The population of Utah is 4 million, though.
It's got to be close to that. I mean, between Ogden,
Phoenix,
and Provo,
so Phoenix is 5 million, and it's the 5th largest city in the U.S. So it does shrink rapidly because I think New York's 11 and L.A. is 7 million, so it goes downhill fast. L.A., Chicago, Houston, Phoenix. Anyway. Okay, are we done? Is that it?
We are
well over time.
Yeah, we're good. Till next time.
All right, have a good week. Take care. Goodbye.